right, we're going to try again. I'm trying to get my camera settings to come up now. There we go. Hang on, guys. We'll see how we can do today. I tried on the other computer. Let's try on this one. Let's turn this off. Hang on. I'm trying to get some settings here. Hang on. Okay, can you hear me? You can hear me. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Oh my gosh. We'll see, guys. I don't know. I bought a new booster and I tried it on the new HP and I don't know if I have it connected right to the HP. I tested it yesterday on the laptop. So that's what we're back on now. We're back on the laptop. So let's see what happens. And boosting doesn't necessarily make a good connection. That could be a server, it could be YouTube, it could be a lot of things. So we're going to try to sit here for a couple minutes and talk to you guys and see how it goes. Right? We'll see how it goes. It looks and sounds good at the moment. Okay. I'm trying my best, guys. Let's see about, let's zoom in one. There we go. Oh my gosh. Hi, Janet. Janet, I tried on the HP and it kept disconnecting me like it did yesterday. So now I'm on the laptop. This is our second try. So we're going to see what happens. Yesterday when I bought a booster, guys, and when I bought it, a Wi-Fi booster, I tested it on the laptop and it was like my download and upload speed like doubled on the speed test. But that doesn't make it a good connection, necessarily. So if we have it could be a server, it could be YouTube, there could be a lot of things for a weak connection. So I'm back but however, that being said, I'm back on the laptop now. I'm back on the laptop and I might have to do some tweaking on the HP to see what I need to do for the Wi-Fi boost on the HP. But so far, we're okay here on the laptop. So we're gonna, it's gonna take some tweaking and stuff, and if it's anything I can do about it, if it's YouTube, if it's a server, if it's some kind of a Wi-Fi, if it's a cable, if it's an internet server issue, then that's out of my hands, But right now we're good. Oh, that's all right, Janet. Hi, terrific Disney. Julie Deltas. So, so we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I did a speed test on the laptop. Well, actually, I did it on both. I did it on the HP. I did like a Wi-Fi speed test, and it with the booster, it doubled my download and upload speed. But that being said, when I tried to get on the HP this morning, it just kept disconnect, or the thing where it says, buffering. We'll just call it buffering. So far, I have not seen that notation here on YouTube on the laptop. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so now let's go back to saying good morning to everybody. Nanamo, Artful Dabbler, Muffy, Kathy H, Dot. Of course, I said hi to Janet. G, hi G. So we're going to try, guys. We're going to try. And we're going to try. I am working on also off camera. And here come the cats again. I'm going to probably have to put them out. Baby, you can't go cords. I can't deal with that today. Don't deal with disconnecting me with the cords. Okay, so the other thing I'm working on here is my mom's Mother's Day present. I didn't know what to get Mom, so she sent me a picture of her dog, her new little puppy. She's had it for a couple of months. well, maybe 4 or 5 months now. So anyway, I'm going to do a portrait. So this is her little Mandy. And I've just got it blocked in. I've just got her blocked in with some acrylic paint. So I've just started. So it's no pencil or anything yet. This is just an acrylic paint block in. So now I've got to put in all the details, but that's going to be my mom's. That's going to be my mom's Mother's Day. She knows it's coming. It's not going to get to her by Sunday, but hopefully I'll have it done by Sunday so I can post it for her, so I can show it to her, so she can have it virtually by Sunday on Mother's Day, but then I'll send it to her next week. Yeah. So I've drawn on her and painted her other dogs for her and Ken, over the years. And so that's what I'm giving her for Mother's Day. Yeah. Yeah, she's having a bad hair day. This picture's, I think, like a month old, and this was before she could go to the groomer. She has since gone, like last week, I think, and she had a little bow in her hair, but the little face wasn't as cute in that picture. So Mom said, but that's more like what she looks like all the time. That's what she looks like all the time. So she said she wanted that picture. So that's what I'm working on. So again, I haven't done any details on it. All I've done is lock it in. So okay. So let's see what we got going on. You know what? For a minute, well, no, I think I'll read here in a minute if more people come in. I don't expect, this is an off day. It's impromptu. I didn't even tweet. I'm kind of afraid to. I'm afraid to tweet and say, hey, come on over, and then we get disconnected or something. So we'll just make it a cozy Tuesday. How about that? A cozy Tuesday. If it works and people can go watch the recording, and, they can go watch the recording. So hi, Sherry Bug, Sarah. I think I said hi to Scrap Girl 12, Nancy, Tori, Magic Windsor. Who else do I need to? Oh, Mom saw it. Hey, Mom's watching. Seeing the process. That's her after. Oh, that's her after the groomer. This is her after the groomer. Mom said, whoops. Mom said that's her after the groomer. She doesn't have the little bow in her. Mom. Well, anyway, Mom's watching from afar. So it's in process, Mom. There you go. It's in process. So I just got a message on my watch from my mom. So she's watching. Let's see. Hi, Clam, Nisha, Art Mingle. Hi, Art Mingle. It's been a while since I've seen you. Good to see you. Let's see. Okay, so I think what we're going to do, guys, as long as we're having connection, once things settle down, I do have a giveaway. Let me see about here. I'll take the autofocus off. Make sure that's off. Okay. Hang on, guys. I got my camera settings are overlaid. Oh, hi, Eric. So, again, guys, we'll see if we can stay connected today. Let's turn down the brightness. Whoa. Let's turn down the brightness a little. And I think we're good. I think this is good. Okay. So we will try to do a little coloring. Let's see. Hi, Country Gal. All right. Oh, I forgot to, let's see. Oh, Mom's, that's so cute. Thanks, Mom. Hang on, guys. Let me, I forgot to message Janet something. Hang on, Janet. Check your messages. Okay. Wait. Oh, thanks, Julie. Hi, Cat and Paste. Debbie Doodler. All right. So as y'all know, Kenny sent us a couple extra copies of this to give away, but I'm going to wait till we have stable connection, make sure everything's going well. Maybe tomorrow, if today goes well, we'll do a giveaway. But I do have 2 extra copies of this to give away. So I set it there for the thumbnail so I could have the book open and the book closed. And so, yeah, we will. I think we're going to try to work on this page. I did a flip through. Well, let me do a little flip through again. I did one yesterday, but those videos, I kept getting disconnected or buffering. So I just, let me zoom in one. So I just deleted those. Videos. Oops. Let's see. I want in. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Hang on. There we go. I deleted those videos. I know. So let me flip through real quick. So this is one I am working on. And the light will change from the white pages to the ones that have color on them. So once I get onto the page, we'll readjust the light. So this is one that I've worked on. I worked on this a couple weeks ago, and I showed how to do that. And then I'm just going to keep flipping. Finished 2 and worked on 3 pages. Okay, so this, whoops, I skipped one here. This one is the one I finished and posted. Posted that one. I know, I love this book too. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of flip. This is the one I want to work on today. The reason I want to really work on this is it'll be a good one to show another wash technique. To show how you can do an acrylic wash. Oh, let me turn the iPad off. You can do an acrylic wash on it and then start shading it. That's how, I've done these other pages in here. So I thought that would be a good one. But I'm just going to flip quickly here just so you can kind of see the book a little bit. If y'all have any questions, put it in caps. And I'm just kind of really trying to pay attention to if we're not buffering. So far, we are doing well. I bought a booster, a Wi-Fi booster, but I tried to do it on the HP this morning, and we were buffering and disconnected. So I shut that down, got on the laptop, and so I don't know if I need to do some tweaking on the HP or what, but so far on the laptop, we're doing well. So we're gonna roll with it, people. We're gonna roll with it. And seeing these animals and stuff. Did y'all see on the news those big giant bees that are, I think it's in Washington State? Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for getting up and being here too. Janet. Those giant bees that are in Washington, the Asian killer bees or whatever, like this big. Oh my gosh, wasps or something? Yeah. Oh my gosh. I said I think I'd move. Oh, I love these candles too. Someone did that one though recently. I don't want to do one that I just saw somebody do. I'm going to do that octopus. I don't think killer wasp. Exactly, Nancy. I love the nesting dolls. This will be a fun one. So yeah. Oh, don't look. Oh, Eileen's not here. And I love these is it pterodactyls? I think these are pterodactyls that have the space in their wings. I am going to love doing this for myself. I don't know when I'll do it, if I'll do it on camera, but I love that pterodactyl with the outer space in the wings. Like Kerby knew me on this one. Now you want this book? Well, wait till I do the giveaways, because I got 2 I'm giving away. You might win one, Janet, when we do the giveaway. Okay, so then there's the ramps, and then this is the one that we did. I did 2 little segments on this. I did not do it from start to finish. The thing about doing, even with a 3-hour live stream, guys, you can't really, this probably took me, I don't know, 5 off and on. I didn't just sit and work for 5 or 6 hours, but you really can't finish a double page spread like this on camera in one setting. So what I try to do is Yeah, right, Nano. What I try to do is a segment, like a part of a tree or a part of the shoe or the clouds. There's a video, I did the clouds here, right in here to show you how I do it. And then it just continue. You just do the same thing all the way over. The little leaves in the trees and all that. So you just have to, I try to do segments to show you areas. Let's see. Let me see you do the library one with all those falling books. Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of the what I want to do, and then there's hidden things. Let me get a sip of my coffee and my juice, guys. When I first start talking in the morning to you guys, I have to get my voice rolling. Okay. So what I want to do though is a page where there's a lot of we can do a wash. This is the library one. Yeah, I really like that. But something like this, where I can do a wash and then details, you can just get a better view of the whole thing rather than a whole bunch of little tiny things. At least we have one big thing to do a wash on. Does that make sense? And so I got to decide. There's little bubbles in the background. Do I want a solid background? Do I want a wash in the background? Because I'm going to do a wash on him or her. We could do her, a girl. Let's see. Hi, Ray. Yeah. So yeah, I love all the pages, and y'all know I have every Kerby book. I think Kerby book. Some of them I have twice. So I work in all of them. I won't show them right now because I want to get crack-a-lackin'. So mushroom houses, I'm not sure. They're little huts. I think they're acorns. I believe they're acorns. Look at the little caps. See the little caps on them? I think they're acorns. That's how I'm going to do them. I'm going to do them as acorns. Of course, acorns could be any color we want them to be, just like our octopus could be any color we want him or her to be. So I have to decide. But if I do these acorns in the traditional, like, a couple of these colors here, like this, kind of a gold, and maybe is that? Let me look up. Let me look up acorns for a minute. Because I'm trying to. I know they have the dark and the light, but let me look at one. Let me quickly look up some acorns. Let me Google up some acorns. Oh, she'd be Petra instead of Pedro. Yes, I know, right, Julie? Oh my gosh, Pedro. So anyway, but I did another one. One of the other octopus. I think he's blue. I mean, not the one I drew, but the other Kerby. I think it's blue. So I don't know what I don't want to do a blue one. Okay, so here's some acorns. Let me grab some. There's images. Let me put in acorn oak because it's giving me some kind of something else. Whoops. Let's not spell it acorns. Acorns. There we go. Okay. Images. Okay, so there's, let me just grab one. No, I like this other one better. I like this one. Just to see a picture of it. Okay, so picture of it. All right, now let's go to my pictures. Hang on, guys. I'll show you the picture I got here. So I have this. Here we go. Just an acorn, just so I can kind of see colors. So it's more like, I don't know. It's not even gold. It's more tan. It's more of a tan color. It's not that goldy color. Let's put that away. Let's get a tan. Okay, baby, you're going to have to go out. I'm not going to be able to come up here in the paint. One of them already, when I was blocking in Mandy Dog, one of them drug their butt through. Well, not really drug it through, but like slid through while they were laid down in the paint. And I'm like, oh no! But it was like right here, so they didn't really get in the paint. Okay, so this is not. That's too yellow. It's really more of a tan color. Let me see if I can get a good tan color. Because I got to do a lot of washing, but I have to kind of make my own color. I'm going to have to make my own color of tan. That's still too yellow. Hang on. I think I'm just going to have to white it down. So we'll go with, we're going to go with honey brown, but I'll white it down a little. It needs to be tan. Okay, baby, you're going to have to go out. Okay, hang on, guys. Let me close the door. Oh, yeah. All right, so let's see. Sorry, guys, for those that y'all wanted the cats. But let's see. And then maybe that's too red. Heritage brick is a little too red. Hang on. I'm just digging. Just wait a minute. Let's find a good color that I like. Maybe. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to go with burnt sienna and honey brown when we do the wash. I'm going to do the what do you call it first? I'm going to do the octopus first because it's got little babies, little babies. Yeah. So I have to decide what color I want to do the octopus because I'm going to have the browns. Did we get a little dark there? Let's make sure we don't get too dark. Here we go. All right. Yeah, they look like little huts. Yeah, they're little acorns. Yeah. I think they're little acorns because of the little tops on them. So that's what I'm going to roll with. So let's see. Do I want it to be green? No, do the green dragon. I'm looking at all my colors trying to decide. Do I want it another color, a brown turquoise? Turquoise. I know Zelie goes green. Zelie Green goes green. But we just did it's kind of got that kind of look to it, and I don't want to do scales, and it's going to look like it'll look like the scales on the dragon. See, I don't want it to look like that. So I'm thinking another color. Turquoise might be good. I think I'm going to go with turquoise. Yeah, I was thinking reddish orange to go with the browns. I was thinking that, Magic. Reddish orange. I think we're going to go turquoise. We're going to go turquoise. I'm going to go bluegrass. I think it's bluegrass green. Yeah, bluegrass green. We're going to go with this. So this will be pretty. Then I have to decide what color do I want to do the background. Do I want the background to be a black, just like I do my outer space? That's easy to do. And I just go over those bubbles. I just paint over those little bubbles and then put them back in. I think we're going to do that. Well, because that'll be kind of easy. So yeah. All right. So that's what we're rolling with. Yeah, it does. The turquoise goes good. You know, turquoise goes well with anything. All right. Let me move little Mandy to the side so we don't splash anything on her. Let's see. So I'm going to kind of not zoom in any more than this until we get the base on here. So let me get a dry. I'm going to move this one to the side. This is the one I'm working on with Mandy. And I want to get these colors in here. And I just use coffee lids. That's what I use for palettes. But if you're going to, and it's for acrylic. If I'm using watercolor or any water mediums where they're translucent, then I go with the butcher tray, you know, the white porcelain butcher tray. That's what I go with for water-based medium, or at least a white, some kind of a porcelain white palette. That's when it's translucent like that. You can't see the colors because of the black. I think I'll start with some of the black background. So I'm just going to squeeze that out. You can't see the colors when it's translucent on these palette, on a plastic coffee lid. But acrylic paints, they just pile up and I just keep rolling like. See? And then I just work right on top of it over and over. And then if it gets too much, I could just throw it away. Or you can do the paint skin thing. if you like to use paint skins. Now watch, wait for it, wait till I turn this over. Wait. So it's just a bunch of acrylic paint, but look, when you turn it over, look at that prettiness. Look at that prettiness. But I don't really save them. I used to send them out to people that liked using paint skins. All right, so now I need to get a couple pieces of paper or something here. Here, let me use or some wax paper or something to put. Let me just get a couple pieces of cardstock paper. Just something to protect the pages on the edges so you don't want to glue them together. When you're going around the edges, close to the edges here, I don't want to glue the pages shut. So I'm going to put some backing there. Oh, good, Sarah. Hi, Teresa. All right, so I'm kind of out of breath. I'm hoping we're going to be good. We're stable. I hope we're stable today. All right, let's see. Let me get a small brush over here. Reaching across. Let's just get a small little. That's good. All right. All righty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first, and I'm going to explain things, how I do it. And if you've probably heard me say it all before, but as I'm going along. So there's all these little bubbles, right? All these little bubbles. I could probably zoom in one. There's all these little bubbles, and I'm not going to paint around those bubbles. So I will just paint over them. And again, when I'm doing a black background or a solid background, there's no water. No water. This is not a wash. This is not a wash. This is just solid paint. Okay, this is just solid black paint. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do, I'll do a section to show you, and then I'll move on to another section so you can see. There's no water in this right now. When I want or the huts, I will do, there'll be a wash. That means, what I mean by a wash is there's water in the paint. Now, there's no water in the paint. And I always wet my brush before I start. I try to remember to always wet my brush before I put it in acrylic paint. You want to tap out the excess water out of the brush because that will water down your paint and it'll wet, then your paint will be translucent. So even that little bit of water, when you dampen your brush, can get into your paint and make it watered down. So I'm just kind of going around here. And I don't know that I probably, technically you probably want to do the octopus and the huts first. And I'm going to do a section this way, and then I'm going to go over here and do the other way. So the reason you might want to do the background last is because then you don't have to worry about anything. I'll show you when I'll do some huts here. Then you don't have to worry about trying to stay in the lines. Like if I just want to do all these huts brown to start with, a wash of brown, I don't have to worry about the background because I know I'm going to paint it black, right? So you could do the black background. You could do the black background after you do the washes. So that way, if you get out of lines on anything, you don't have to, you don't have to be so careful. Because you're going to paint over the background black. So I'm just going to do a little bit here along the edge. I'll probably go ahead and do along the edges. That will probably be the best thing. Then I don't have to worry about having the paper behind it here. So I'm going to do that and put it in caps if you're talking to me, guys. I'll try to keep looking over and seeing if you're talking to me. Okay, so I've gone all the way around the edge here. Let's get right in here. Right up to the edge there. Right in the ditch there. And then we'll move on to the wash. Just so you can see that I'm just going to go over all those bubbles. All right. You can do this after you have done the other. All right, so I'm going to move that out of the way there. Now let's go over here. Okay, let me go right across here. There's one little tentacle hanging down there. I just want to get the edges where that's the area that will glue your pages together if you're not careful by putting something behind it. We'll try to get as much of this done as we can. So thanks, guys, for being here for this test. And I hated that I couldn't do the show yesterday. I'm going to, of course, lose track of what day it is now. Because I know what day it is by Monday and Wednesdays, stream days, and occasional impromptu. So now that we're doing Tuesday. Hi, Rochelle. Anybody else? Good morning. All right, so now I'm going to move that out of the way because we got the edges. All right, so now, again, we could do all of the black background, but we are going to work on the octopus next. All right, so I'm going to take some, and now we're going to go into a wash. Always shake your paints really well because they can separate, and then you'll be just squeezing out a bunch of oils, right? Hi there, Jen, reading with pugs. Your little coloring assistant, is so adorable. I saw that picture you posted on IG. Was that an older picture though? He looked really young in that picture. Get a sip of juice here. He looked really young in that picture. All right, let's see. That might be a little big. I like my small angle brushes. I go through them so quickly, though. And what I mean by go through them so quickly, I use them so much they start getting worn out like this. See, look, that's one of my angle brushes. And they're just inexpensive craft brushes, guys. None of these brushes, for the most part, unless I say otherwise, they're not expensive. They're just craft brushes, Artist Loft or anything. But, they don't last forever, obviously. And see, I'm tough on my brushes. This one is probably good for the glue bowl where I keep my old brushes in the water that is just used for glue. But so I scrub and rub and I use them a lot. Let's see. I was looking to see what did she answer? Yes, he was okay. He had the Darth Vader costume. Okay. I was wondering, he looked a little young, but I didn't see you say. And I said, well, maybe it's just the angle of the camera. But yeah, he was just one. Okay. Hi, Annette. Yeah, my yesterday's stream did not, it was buffering and going blah, it was just a big mess yesterday. Hot mess. So I went and bought a Wi-Fi booster. And again, is that helping? My according to speed test, I've doubled my upload and doubled my download speed. But when I got on the HP this morning, I was buffering. So I left and went back, and now I'm back on the laptop, which is what I set up when I got the booster. I set it up via the laptop. So I probably have to do some kind of tweaking on the HP for it to read the booster, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Do you change the water? Yes, I do change the water in my brush bucket. Yeah, probably. I probably need to do it every week, but it starts to evaporate. So I dump it out. Actually, just dump it in the yard. I dump it out in the grass. I dump the glue water in the grass because I don't really want that glue water down my sink. So I just throw it out in the grass. It doesn't hurt the grass. It's just, it's non-toxic. It's non-toxic. So, but I don't want glue in my sink. I don't want glue in my pipes, right? So I throw it out in the grass and get fresh water. So yeah. Hi, Jen Oz. Good to see you. Good to see you. And anybody else I missed, I'm sorry if I'm trying to, really concentrate on the, connectivity. So anyway, the I got a new Wi-Fi booster, and we'll see how that works. So far it's working well on the laptop. So and it looks pretty, it looks good, so I think we're good. Okay, so anyway, this brush right here, I keep a couple of them that are like this fuzzy, because that can be good for, some textures and stuff. But for the most part, I like me a nice fresh crisp. Look at that baby right there. Look how crisp that is. Look at that. This one's a little big for some of these areas, but that's okay, because I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how, if you do your background last, I'm just putting some water in here. If you do the background last, it doesn't matter if you go out of lines, because you're going to paint over it. If you are planning on doing a solid background. Okay, so the other thing about when you do a wash, and it might take a couple of little tests to see, you don't want it so dark that you cover up the line art. See how you can still see how you can still see the line art underneath? If you do a paint right out of the tube like I did the black, you'd be covering up all that. You don't want to cover up the line art. You just want to, like, a gentle wash over it. Okay, you just want to wash over the line art. See, then I got a little bit on the huts, but that's okay. All right, because we're going to do the huts next. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go along here, and then what this does is this gives your a tooth for your pencil to work on. And I think who was it, Ray or Riri? I can't remember which one, that we were talking on Monday about her pencils weren't working on it, and she said she was using Crayola pencils. I've never tried Crayola pencils with the wash technique. I almost always use Prismacolor, which are soft and waxy. They're soft and waxy, and so maybe the Crayolas are too hard of a pencil and won't do this technique, maybe. I don't know. I've never tried the Crayola pencils on a wash. So it was Riri. Okay. So you can see how light this is. Now when we go in to do with color pencil, this is going to be a lot more darker. A lot more darker. Okay, but what I want you to see is, look how I went over the edge right there. See, I just went right over that whole arm right there and just went right out of line. All that. See how it's out of line? It doesn't matter, because I'm going to paint black over that. The other thing too is when you can just see how those look how quick I could paint that in. That whole little body there. If doing that in pencil, it takes a lot longer. In pencil, if you just start with flat pencil. Not that there's anything wrong with that. All right, so on his whole head here, or her, whichever, him or her. Go around that little hut, because the huts I'm going to do the same thing with the huts, but they're going to be the brown colors. A little more water. And what I have here, I usually like spray the water right here. Then you can kind of drag the paint in it. You have more control. Of how much water you're picking up. The other tip is, if you're going to layer up the washes, let's just say you want some areas darker with the wash. Let the first layer dry completely. Otherwise, you're going to pill your paper. This is not watercolor paper. This is a sturdier paper than some color books, and it is sturdier than a lot. This is like cardstock weight in this book of Kerby's, but some others will be really thin, and you don't want to like break down. You don't want to break down your paper with water. It's not the paint. You know, people go, well, will acrylic paint peel your paper? Will watercolor peel your paper? It's not either. It's the water. It's the water that will peel your paper, not the paints. So you want to let that, if let's just say I wanted a darker shaded area with the paint, wait till that's dry or hit it with your heat gun before you add another layer. Because if I went in here now with more water, it's going to start buckling and peeling. The paper will buckle some, but I found out, let me water that down a little more. What I found is by the time you do both sides of your page, it's a little buckle, but it's not terrible. And of course, that's going to depend on how thick or thin your paper originally is. If it's a cardstock weight like this is, or if it's a real thin Create Space paper, then it's going to buckle a lot more. Uh-oh, I got a little splash there. It doesn't matter. So this is just the wash. Now, let me see if I kept that paper because I always want, here it is. I always like to show this test. Okay. So when you work on pencil, just to, people go, well, why do the wash? Hi, Dee Dee, just received. Oh, thanks, Pamela, for stopping in. At least somebody got a notification. This is an impromptu. I did not get to stream yesterday, so I'm streaming today, testing my new booster that I bought yesterday to try something. It didn't seem to help on my new HP, and I think that's because I don't have the settings to read the booster. But on my laptop it is. So it seems to be okay. We seem very stable today. So, yeah. Okay, so when you do, here is a sample. This is black pencil with white pencil on top. Let me just grab a white pencil. Okay. So this is black pencil with white pencil on top. Look at this. I'm pushing as hard as I could. Now I got to sharpen. Just to show you why do a wash. Okay, so let's say you colored a whole thing with black pencil. There's no way to put white on top of it. Now watch this. This is black paint. I'm going to flip it over. Black acrylic paint with a white pencil. Bam! If this is black paint, and look at this. I don't even have to push hard. Look at that. So even a white pencil will go over black paint, but it won't go pencil over pencil. So right there, this is why you want to start with a wash, because your pencils do this instead of that. Okay, so let's get back to this. And I will zoom in when we start doing more detail. Hi, Heidi. Did I say hi to you, Elaine? Hi, Elaine. Okay, Riri. All right, so it looks like some little orange. No, it's a little clockers. That must be one of the hidden things. That must be one of the hidden things in there. So what's everybody else working on? Anybody working on any color book pages or collage, or what are y'all working on these days? And I'm also doing the little babies in turquoise. And see, I don't have to try to, get in there real tight because I'm going to pencil the details in. So, hi, Annette. Good to see you, Jen. So good to see you. Okay, Jen reading with pugs. We got Jen Oz in Australia and reading with pugs, Jen, who is working on a Star Wars picture. Did you start it on the 4th? Did you start it yesterday, Jen? Or did you do it for the 4th? Let's see. Lucy just adds color. I'm working on a Janet F. Hankins page. I don't know. Or Jane, sorry. Jane F. Hankins. Somebody else mentioned her. I don't think I went and looked her up. She is on YouTube, or is she just do color books? Which is it, Lucy? But the name sounds familiar, but I'm not picturing what she does. Annette is working on a collage, finger painted. So relax, isn't it? Isn't it fun to finger paint on collage? Julie Topaz, Mayflowers, Silhouettes, Day 5. Yeah, if y'all don't follow Julie, Topaz Pearl Girl on Instagram, well, on Facebook, but especially, she does post on Instagram. Zelie is working on Ruby Charms. I think she has a new book out, doesn't she, Zelie? Doesn't she have a new book out? I think Ruby Charms. You can follow Ruby Charms on IG and Zelie. Grace is working on a fish with coral. Marilyn is learning technique. Oh, thanks, Marilyn. That's very sweet, very kind. You're learning techniques from me. Heidi's working on ATCs. She's an artist on IG and YouTube. Okay, is that her? Where's my phone? Oh, here. Let me look her up. Jane Hankins. Let me see if I follow her. I might be following her, and I'm just, I've so many people. Oh, Just Judy. Oh my gosh, Just Judy post. Look at that, guys. If y'all don't follow Just Judy for you, look at that. Awesome. She just popped up, so that's why I'm saying I haven't even had a chance to like it yet. That's awesome, Judy. Okay, let me look up Janet Hankins, I think is what it was. Jane Hankins. Yeah, there she is. Jane Hankins 60. Is it? No, I don't think. Is it Jane Hankins? Jane F. Oh, I guess it is. It looks like I'll follow her now. It looks like she's a sculptor and color book, and here's some of her paintings look like might be on the wall there. I think I got the right person. Is it Jane Hankins 60? Is that correct, Lucy? Jane Hankins 60? I followed her. I'll follow most artists. There's just all kinds of little sculptors. That's her. Okay, yeah, she does little sculptures. Look at this. How cute. Okay, I followed her. I'll go check her out more later. Thanks. Okay, so let's finish up this wash here on the. Get a little more water. Just keep putting the water down and keep dragging the paint into it. Try not to drip all over your page there. So we'll get this blocked in, and then I'll work on a section or something. Obviously, we're not going to finish the whole thing, but I will zoom in when I start coloring. Right now, I just want to show you, a basic wash here. Just kind of go around these huts. Again, it doesn't matter if you get out of lines because you're going to pencil over the bulk of it, right? You're going to pencil over most of it. This just gives your pencil the tooth and the base to work on top of. And it's just worked so well. Like I showed you that black and white, right? Am I gone? Did I leave? Am I here? Elaine said I left the building. Am I here? I didn't get any notification that I was buffering. You're here? Well, I don't know why Elaine said that. Elaine, don't freak me out like that. Don't freak me out, Elaine. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you, guys. It's stressful enough when you're trying to do this chat and keep an eye on your internet. Don't be tricking me now. Okay. If it just buffers for a second, that's going to be normal for all of us, guys. YouTube, it's going to be normal for all of us. That happens regardless to all of us that stream. Okay. So a little bit more here. All right, let's move over to this side. And just kind of get under those huts there. Now, you know what's going to happen, Jan, because I'm streaming today, I'm going to think Survivor is on tonight. I'm going to think, oh, it must be Survivor night because I streamed today. Oh, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, it must be Survivor tonight. Here, let's pick this up so I don't go around the edge there. Because some of us that are diehard Survivor fans have been watching Survivor since day one. We live tweet during the show and talk about the show. And it's on, Wednesday. So I stream on Wednesday. So when I stream on Wednesday, I know I'm going to look forward to Survivor that night with Janet and Zandra and Terry L. and, whoever else wants to join in. And so, go ahead and have pizza 2 nights in a row. I have to check and see if my Pi 5 pizza places reopened. For a while, they were just doing curbside, I think, or did they? No, maybe they closed down completely. But anyway, I like my Pi 5. I don't know if they're reopened yet since Georgia is opening back up a lot of stuff. But I haven't checked Pi 5 yet. I know Janet would be the first thing she would check is her pizza place. Janet would be going, is the pizza place open? No, Janet actually makes her own pizza. So that really wouldn't be Janet, but she likes her pizza like I like my pizza. We like our pizza. So, and usually Wednesday night, Survivor night is pizza night. A little more water, a little more pulling in the paint. For Muffy, she says it's margarita and enchilada night for her. And let's see. Hi, Mark. Hi, Katrina. Did I say hi to you, Sarah? Hi, Sarah. Grace. Anybody else I missed? Okay. So let's keep rolling here. Just see how quick it is to get a wash down, though, on an area. And then I'll dry it really well before I go into the next color, before I go into the browns. And see, they're around the huts are the octopus too, so it's going to be that color. So I'm just going to get a wash in there all around. All the little babies. See how I can just go in there and just wash over the whole thing? Because the background is black and it's going to be cover up anything lines. You just don't have to be extra careful. I'm trying not to get on the huts, but even so. All right, let's see. There's some more there. Okay, let's go in here a little bit. And I don't really have to go in here with the wash in between because I'm going in there with pencil regardless. I'm just kind of trying to define my areas for myself. All right, so here's another little legs. Where else? Up here, legs. Let's put some paint on there. Okay, let's go over here, legs. And just kind of go around the whole area here. I think I got everything based in with the turquoise. Planning on any mermaid project? No, I don't do mermaid. Yeah, I don't do mermaid because that's a whole commitment to a month of something. And when I commit, like Inktober, I've done Inktober 5 years in a row and I've completed it. Don't make me pull out my Inktobers now. Y'all know me. I'll go off on a rabbit trail. Hi, Teresa D. But anyway, I completed 5 years of Inktober, and I do plan to do it again this coming year. It's really the only time of the year that I just really concentrate on inking. I do inking a little bit here and there throughout the year, but not concentrated. So it's like doing a whole month of inking, really just like, I don't know, it's just good practice. It's a good habit. I enjoy doing it. I don't follow the prompts. I don't do the prompts that they give for Inktober. You don't have to. You don't have to follow their prompts. Like last year, I did Movie Monsters My Way, And if you go in, I think I have a playlist for Inktober and inking and all that. And you can see, because I do flips of them. I do flips of them quite often. And so let me clean my brush out real quick, guys. And so it's like a commitment to doing it, you know. And all right, so I'm going to put out a little bit of burnt sienna, just a little, don't need much. I can always add more. And a little bit of the honey brown. So these little huts are acorns. Let me look at my picture again. I did bring up a reference of an acorn. There we go. So we can just kind of look. All right, so the acorn toppers are like have an undercolor of like a tan color. Let me get a little bit of white in there. I want that honey color to be just a little, have a little more opacity to it, a little more white in there. And let's water it down. I don't want to get into that black right there. Okay, and so that's what the tops look like. And then the bottoms are more that sienna color. Okay, I received my package. Oh, you're welcome, Katrina. What did I say? That was a while back. What did I send you, a rooster or a blue jay? That was like a month or two ago. Is that what you're talking about? Or did you win something? I don't remember, guys. I write it all down in my book, but I don't remember. I don't remember everything I send out. I write it down in my book. Annette, once you have done the wash, it looks less daunting. It's exactly, Annette. It takes that initial like, oh my gosh, I can't touch this page out of it. Oh, that's a hut. A baby octopus in the upper left. Upper left? My upper left or your upper left? I see a couple little legs. Oh, right there. Oh, you're right. Okay, let me get this other brush here. There we go. Thank you. I missed one. Okay. Y'all are eagle eyes. Eagle eyes. Thank you, Jennifer. Let's see. I will try Inktober this year. Make it seem like fun your way. Yeah, because you can pick your own topic. So I'm gonna get this wash on talking to you on the tops of the huts. Okay. So here again, this is why, if I hadn't have already painted the black background, I wouldn't have to be so careful on these up here. But I just wanted to show you some black background here. All right. So I'm starting with the tops, and it might go into the, you know what I should do? Let me go ahead and dry. It's a little damp still, and I don't want to run my colors together. So let me dry him. What was I going to say? Okay. Oh, Inktober. Hang on a second. So last year I did Movie Monsters My Way. And I think the year before I did the cats in calligraphy, and I used my cats as the idea, I use them, and I dressed them up in costumes, not literally, not the cats. I dressed up the drawings. I dressed them up, my Inktober drawings. I dressed them up in different costumes, Bat Cat and Cat Girl, stuff like that, and drew them in their costumes. And then did special calligraphy and titled each one with different calligraphy along the way. And then the year before that, I think I did kanji, and that one I kept real simple. I wanted to concentrate on the kanji symbol. And so made it real big, and then just like a very simple drawing, a very simple ink drawing that went with that. Then one year I did undersea. One year I started with reptiles. I started doing reptiles with, what do you call it? Celtic knots. So, but I make up my own topics. You'll be watching it a week. You don't have to be that careful, Elaine. Look, you don't have to be that careful because you're going to go in there and pencil in the details. And so I did do that. 1 year too. Let's not forget that one again. All right, so you can see here how quickly we're really, and and I'm talking and stopping and chatting as well. So if you just concentrate on doing it, you can get it done pretty quickly. And once you get your wash in, then you could do your black background or whatever color. And if you want a solid background, don't put any water in it, okay? Don't put any water if you want a solid like this. Now, if you're going to do a background, let's say you're going to do a background red, lime green, yellow. If you're going to do a solid right out of the tube or right out of the jar background, those colors are more translucent. Yellow, red, lime green. You might have to put 2 coats, okay? You might have to put 2 coats. I do put it on. I do put it on straight out of the jar and pretty thick. Okay. I do put it on right out of the jar, really thick. No water. There's no water in that black. Oh, thank you, Katrina. Oh, Katrina, did you ever say what I sent you? I must have missed it. Hi, Jonna, sister woman, preppy crafty girl. Okay, so I think I got the tops of those. Let's go over here. And again, I'm not having to be very real extra careful because I'm going to do the bulk of the work with pencil. Okay, the bulk of the work. This is just a base. This is a base. And if I want it a little darker, I can make a second pass over it. But make sure you dry it first. I'll show you the other ones I did. That's a tree. That's okay. I think, yeah, that's a tree right there. Go back over with green. Or an olive. I might do an olive color on those little bitty trees. All right, there's not too many of them. They're just kind of interspersed here and there. Let's make sure I'm staying in frame here. Oops, let's get that over here. So I'll show you a little bit more of the black background after I get these huts in. Then we'll do a little shading. So thanks everybody for popping in today. I'm sorry yesterday's stream was all jacked up, but I don't know what I could have done about it other than I said, hey, I'm going to try. I'm going to go get me a Wi-Fi booster. So that's what I did last night. I went to Walmart and bought a Wi-Fi booster. I got to tell y'all, this is so funny. Right before all this stuff started happening, Walmart had gone down to almost no lanes open. And you just had the self-checkout, they started doing that self-checkout thing. I got to add a little more water here. And so, they only had that little square area open where you had the self-checkout right before all the, virus stuff started. It was almost no lanes open at all at Walmart. Well, I hadn't been to Hub started going to Walmart, doing our little bit of shopping. And then we usually just go to Publix, which is right down the street. We don't have to buy bulk because it's just the 2 of us, right? And we had toilet paper already. So we weren't in need of bulk supplies. So anyway, so I went to Walmart. We both went yesterday so that I could find the Wi-Fi booster. All the lanes were open, all of them. With just 1 or 2 people. And I told Hubster, I said, it took a virus for Walmart to open all their lanes. Oh my gosh. So all the lanes were open. I thought, man, and they're all wearing their masks and everything. But it was just so, I thought, oh my gosh. Okay, so chat stop. I'm going to do a chat check here. Let's do a chat check. Okay, are we still here? Are we still moving? So you say something or I'm going to freak out. Okay. Your Walmart's the same, preppy crafty girl? So anyway, I thought that was really weird. So I bought the Wi-Fi booster, and like I said, it seems to, I set it up with the laptop. So I probably need to do something on the HP. My HP Denise got me for Mother's Day. I probably have to do some tweaking in it to get it to read the booster, because I started this morning on the HP and it went right into buffering. So I moved over to the laptop, and we haven't, other than I think one time, we had a little 1 second buffering. So hopefully that's helping. I don't know for sure because it's so random, guys. It's so random. We could be buffering 1 minute one day, and the next day we're fine. So I don't know if the booster's helping or not. I really don't know. It could just be we got good servers today, or YouTube fixed whatever they were doing. Who knows? Yeah, Julie. Hi, Lisa Scott. How you doing? Yeah, exactly, Jonna. How you doing, Lisa? It's good to see you. How are you doing? I want to check on Lisa there. Thanks everybody that's kept Miss Lisa Scott in your thoughts and prayers. And hi, Yvonne. Let's see who else. You're always the oddball, though, Janet. You're doing okay? Email me, Lisa. Email me with updates. I haven't got an email from you in a while. I like your email updates. That's just me. All right, so I think we got all the tops of the huts. Now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to spin this around and water down this sienna. It's got a little of the blue in there, but that's okay. So I'm going to water down the sienna, and now I'm going to do the bottom of the huts. And again, I'm not being extra careful because it's all going to have pencil over it. That's a little tree right there. And I'm going to do the trees maybe an olive color. I don't know. So I'm just going to kind of tap in a little bit of the sienna here. Again, it doesn't have to be that neat because pencils will be applied. All right, but there's a lot of little trees and bushes around it. So those are the olive green. I don't know that I'll do any washes on those. They're pretty tiny. I'd probably just go in there with a pencil. Okay, let's get that one, this one. I'm just using the point of the brush. You know, you just want to make it light enough so you can still see the art, the line art underneath. A little more water. So you can see this is going pretty fast, right? And it's very flat and very light. As soon as I do this, I'll show you the other pages because they started out the same way. They started out just like this. Oh, I forgot that little topper there. Here's my other little brush. A little too solid there. We need a little bit more water. So I want to be able to see through it. Let's see. These don't. If y'all have any questions or talking to me, put it in caps. I won't think you're yelling at me. That's most of our rules around all of us streamers, you know. Not everybody though. Some people don't like you to put it in caps. So make sure, you know, you are in somebody's chat that doesn't mind you putting it in caps. I like it when you put it in caps so I know you're talking to me. Okay, so let's go over on this side of the page. I'm just going to kind of move on over here. Stay in frame. The little acorn huts. And of course, we're going to do details on them. I'll try to do a couple of them as well. Because like I said, how I try to do these demos, I don't consider myself a teacher. I just kind of demo what I'm doing and talk out loud what I'm doing. I'll show you. I try to do sections so you can see the technique, because obviously we don't have time to do full on pages without. I mean, I have done them in the past. I have done pages in the past where 4 or 5 parts, like the werewolf, the Kerby werewolf, that was in 4 or 5 parts. Um, so I have done them, but I don't really like to do that. I don't really like to do them in a lot of parts. So I'd rather show you a section and a technique, and then you just carry that technique throughout. All right, getting there, getting there. And you don't have to go this fast. You can take your time. I'm just trying to get as much done as I possibly can. Let's see. Kimberly, Teresa D. Hi, Wolfie. All right. There. Just a little bit underneath some of those, maybe right on this edge here. I think I got the bulk of them. I might have missed one, but that's okay. We're going to go back in with pencil. All right, let me dry this. It does curl up a little on the edges, and it does warp a little bit. I'm not going to say it stays completely flat like your other pages, but it does warp enough that it buckles, it doesn't wave, as long as you don't like over saturate it. All right, so now I'm going to rinse that brush out. Now I'm going to get out just a tiny bit. I think I'm just going to go with this olive green here. I'm just going to go with avocado green. I'm just going to put a little dab of avocado green. Doesn't need much because I'm just going to do those little tiny trees. So I'm just going to, and I went to a smaller brush. Okay, so I'm going to water down some avocado green. And now I'm just going to go in here wherever. Oh, I picked up the black. Okay, let's clean up that brush, or this black on my brush, one or the other. All right, hang on. Let me get a baby wipe. Okay, it just ran into the black right there. Okay, let's water that down a little bit more. All right, so I'm just going to go over these little trees. They're here and there. And again, I really don't need to do this even. I could just do this with pencil. But just for the sake of the demo, I'm going to go ahead and do the little olive green trees throughout. There's one, and I probably will miss one. But again, it doesn't matter. I'll do that with pencil. But there's these little bushes throughout. There's one. There's a tree. There's a tree. That's a hut. Tree. And I'll fix that with a pencil. All right, let's see. Over here, tree, tree, tree. That may be a hut, but it's kind of the shape of a tree. Bushes. Just here and there, there's little trees. You see how quick I'm doing it? It goes right out of line. It's okay because you're going to pencil. You'll see. No, don't be a fearing. Don't be a fearing the color book. How are we doing in chat? Hi, Rochelle. Let's see. Okay, I think I got the bulk of them. I might have missed a little one here or there. Okay, let's try this. Oh, we got a troll. Don't worry, Janet's on it. Janet or Julie won. But yeah. Wow, school's still out. School's still out, and all those 12-year-olds. All right, so okay, so now I am going to get a smaller brush and get back into the. Now I want to, be a little more precise. So I'm going to get even a smaller little brush, maybe a pointy one. I'll go for a round, a pointy round. Okay, so yeah, let me just wet it, but get out all the excess water and all the excess water out of the brush. All right, so now I'm going to go back to black with no water. Even though there's some water kind of pooling around it, I'm going to go into the middle here because I don't want any water in my black. All right, so now I'm going to start zooming in because we're going to start doing detail. So let's go ahead and get a little closer. And let's hope we can stay. Let me autofocus again. And then turn the autofocus off. How's that look? Does that look okay, guys? Are we still good? I hope. All right, so now let's just do this section here. Again, I am not going to try to paint around those bubbles. I'll just put in my own bubbles wherever, okay, with a white Posca. All right, so now this is where the paint got a little thick sitting there. I might have to squeeze out a little more. Okay, so now this is where you take your time to go around everything. Okay, I got to squeeze out a little more black. That black is hardened up. And let me just get another tray. Sitting here with the fan blowing on it. I want it thick, but I don't want it crunchy. Thanks, Devin. Yeah, the blue color is bluegrass green. That's the color of the teal color that for the octopus. All right, so now you can just go in there. And again, every time you see me go over here, I'm just picking up more paint. So like I'm going over here and I'm going to go over here and pick up more paint. It's just not on the camera so that we can be zoomed in as much as possible. So I'm going to go paint right over those bubbles, and then I'll show you in a minute with either you can do it with a pencil too if you're using a paint. Posca just gives you a nice dot of white. Okay, so then this is where you want to take a little more time. His head or her head is lumpy right there. So, and I'm not going to do all the background here. I just want to do enough for you to see what we're going to do. And again, it's straight out of the jar, no water in the background. This is not a wash. This is directly from the jar. And this is where you can take a little more time. And so this is why you don't have to worry about getting out of lines, because you're painting over everything. That's not part of what you're doing. And it does take a minute of these little tiny areas. Of course, like right here in between the little arms right there, I could just do that with, I don't really have to do all this tight stuff with paint. That being said, if you want a glow or something around it, like if I wanted a little light coming, surrounding these huts or coming out of the huts, which I might do just to show you the technique, you'll have to have paint there, because like I showed you before, you can't do white on top of black pencil. So here's the party again. This is black pencil and white pencil. Look, that's black pencil and white Did you guys see all those black dots? I don't know what black dots. Okay. Then this is paint, black paint with white pencil. So if you want to do some kind of a glow or something, let's just say this is the little hut right here. If you want to glow around the hut, it has to have paint as a background because it won't work on top of black pencil, even in a tiny area like that. So you get in here with pencil in between, and then you decide you want to glow around that whole little creature. It's not going to work. It's not going to work if it's pencil. It has to be the paint. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Lori. Anybody else popping in? Thanks for being here. All right. So, and again, I'm just going right over those bubbles. So I'll, if you want to remember exactly where those bubbles were and put them in the exact same spot, then take a picture of it before before you paint over them. But I'm just going to throw in my own anywhere I want. So, but and that's true of anything you want to remember. If you're going to cover it up, collage. If you lay out, let's say you laid out a collage, had it all laid out, and you have to move it to glue it, right? And you go, oh, I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to remember where everything is. Well, if you take a picture of it, it'll last longer. And I did get black on that tree right there, but it's okay. It's paint. I'll go back over it. I'll go back over it with a pencil. Kirby's not going to email you and say, oh my gosh, I didn't have a bubble right there. You put a bubble where I didn't draw one. He's not going to email you. You can do whatever you want. I can make this stars and nebulization and planets, but I'm going to keep it bubbles under the sea. All right, so I'm just going to finish this little section right here. Then we'll start doing some pencil. Well, I think I'll put some bubbles with the Posca first, and then we'll go with the pencil. All righty. And for those of y'all that didn't see yesterday, Paula streamed yesterday an impromptu. And I think she said she's going to try to stream. I don't know if it'll be every day or what she's going to do. But she streamed yesterday. So if y'all don't follow Journal Artista Paula, she started back streaming yesterday. She's she's not working right now. She's off work. She's in Canada, so I don't know all the situation in Canada. All the different provinces and the different lockdowns in different provinces. So, but she's off work right now, so she's going to try to stream. So if you don't follow Journal Artista, make sure y'all follow her and support her. She's one of the first streamers that I met right after Artistic Biker Blade. And then it was Paula. Well, actually, it was not Carrie Ann. I Carry Love, Julie Topaz, who's one of the mods here. Julie Topaz, I Carry Love, and Blade, the Artistic Biker, were the first three streamers I met on Ustream 10 years ago. And then from him, I found Paula. She was the second Ustreamer that I found. And then I think it was about 3 months later I started streaming. After I found them, and I said, I could do this. I started with two followers. I started with 2 followers on Ustream. And yeah. Been streaming for 10 years now. It'll be 10 years in November. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and finish this section. Then we'll do the bubbles. This little tree, right around this little tree here. All right. So you can see a little process. Okay, so now you can see kind of around the head. Okay. Let me go ahead and let me dry this. And again, I would do all these white areas. I'm not going to do that now because it's going to take too long. All right, so now I'm going to get my white Posca. Sorry, I bumped the table and that therefore jiggled the camera. All right, so now I don't remember where any of those bubbles were exactly, but I'm going to put in a few of my own. And I'm going to have a few here and there. And you don't have to do this step until like the end. But I want to show you all the different areas. So I'm going to have a few little bubbles here and there. And the difference between the bubbles and, say, outer space is, you're going to have bigger ones together. You'll have a couple bigger bubbles like right next to each other and more of them, more big bubbles. Oh, so there we go. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We have 236 people here. Thanks, everybody, all the lurkers, everybody watching from the sidelines. I appreciate all the lurkers. I don't mind lurkers at all. I lurk, too. I lurk at other people's streams, so it doesn't bother me at all. And that tree right there, let me go ahead, because remember, I got black on it. Let me go ahead and get like just an olive green or something, just to that's not light enough. Let's just get some kind of green to go over that, just to lighten that tree up a little bit right there. Okay, because I accidentally painted over it. And oh, thank you, Share Bear. I'm confident. Well, you do it long enough. You do it a lot. You practice a lot. I've been an artist doing art really kind of seriously, thinking about being an artist for 50 years. So, yeah. And using Prismacolor pencils since I was a teenager. That's why I love them so much, because they're like my children. Thank you, Katrina. All right, so I'm going to keep rolling here. And I don't want to, I'm putting probably more bubbles than Kerby did, but you can put as many as you want. All right. A couple of little ones, but mostly kind of just big bubbles, kind of close. Tiny bubbles. Okay. Don't make me sing. You don't want to hear me sing. I can color, but I can't sing. Okay. Oh, good, Nanette. Thank you for lurking and watching. Everybody else too. I hope people are working on stuff. All right, so that's kind of where we're going to go with all the. See the little bubbles there. See how Kerby has them. A couple of big ones and some small ones around it. All right, now let me dry this. Okay, so all these white areas are going to be the same as that. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do the background. You share that that affliction, Nanamo? Yeah. So this is how you're going to do. That's how I'm doing. You don't have to do it exactly like this. Take variations, but that's how I'm going to do all these white areas. It's going to be just like that. So now you know how this is going to look. I'll try to work on this throughout the day, but I am working on Mom's. Let me go back to that again. Let me go back to my Mom's. So it's going to be really zoomed in here. Let's see. So this is Mom's little Mandy. That's her little Mandy. And for Mother's Day, I've got it. This is just an acrylic base, but I've got it based in, and then I still have to do the pencil. But I'm going to do a Mandy portrait for my mom for Mother's Day. She knows she's not going to get it by next Sunday, but I asked her what she wanted. So I'm going to do that for her for Mother's Day. There's no picture there's several pictures in the color book I have that are things inside glass. Yeah, the thing about glass, and I know let me see, there's a snow globe in here. Let me see if I can find it. And then I'll show you the pictures that I've already worked on. There was a snow globe. I think it's the other way. Okay, well here's a good example. This is a astronaut's helmet. This is what I would do. Okay, you know, I would color everything in. I'd make sure there was a little bit darker shading right around the edge, like your shading, like your trees, your clouds, your trees, your bushes. Have just a little bit darker, higher, extra dark right around the rim. I mean, don't make it a line, but just make it a little darker shading really close to the rim, because it would probably be darker around it because it's like it's a bubble, right? So the lightest parts are probably going to be right in here, right up here. So what I would do then, let me see if I can get I don't know if a piece of, let me look at my old Vogue here where we do art. Okay. Here's this is a piece of tracing paper out of our Vogue magazine demo thing. I just want to show you. I'm going to just put it on top of here to show you. Don't do tracing paper, do it actually on here, but I want to show you what I would do. Is after all this is colored, after it's completely colored, I would take my Posca and do some, oh, that's not going to show. Anyway, I would do some white highlights. If you're not sure where to highlight, just go find astronaut helmet. Go look up astronaut helmets or look up snow globes if you're doing the snow globe, and look where the highlights are and put those white highlights right over the top of everything. Like, not all over. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Let me just draw it instead. So like, all right, so you got your astronaut helmet. Okay. And this is all colored in. And what I meant about, around the edge, you'd have it darker right around the edge, right where you shadowed it a little more with the green or the blue or whatever color. And then after it's all colored in, you're going to have highlights that go right over the top. Like you might have a couple there. You might have one down here. You just go look at a ball, a glass ball. Look at a glass ball like an astronaut's helmet or the snow globes, and look where the highlights are. Look where the highlights, and then put those white highlights right over the top. Does that make sense? Yeah, Mandy is adorable. That way you can see where to put those white highlights. If you don't have a Posca, just use white acrylic paint. And put some nice highlights, maybe even one thicker highlight. Like one could be like the width of a brush, and then the rest can be like a little streaky, a couple around the edges. Does that make sense? Okay, Annette. Okay, so I don't know who asked me about that, but there you go. All right, so let's go back to the one. So I finished this one. And again, I did do a demo on how to do the clouds and the trees. I showed how to do those little trees. And then this is posted on Instagram. And then over here, oh, that's where we're working. I did finish this one, the dragon's eye. So that one's done. And then this one was still in progress. The dinosaur, he's done. And then I just have to finish. See how it's got a wash of everything? The same thing I'm doing here is the same thing I did here. I did the wash on the trees and the leaves, and then I painted in the background. Now this one will probably have stars in the background. Okay. Yes, Posca comes in a lot of colors. Thin and thick. Posca comes in a lot of colors. If I was going to tell you to buy one Posca, it'd be the white one. If you want to test a Posca, buy the white Posca. Arteza also has paint pens. Arteza has paint pens. I don't think they're quite as opaque as the Posca. The Poscas are just nice and thick. They're very opaque. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. So now let's go. Let's just kind of work in a little section here. I'm not going to stay too long, guys. I really wanted to come on today and test, the camera, test my booster that I bought last night, which seems to be working fine on the laptop. I did a speed test and it doubled my download and upload speed with the booster with the Wi-Fi. I don't know. I'm just saying what happened. Is that really what happened? I mean, is that really the cause? I don't know, but. And I also don't want to forget, because I didn't get to do it yesterday. I want to read 1,001 Ways to Be Creative. The next, little page out of that. If I remember, if we forget, we'll do it tomorrow. What's the best way to clean the tips of pasta? Okay, well, what I do, right next to me, I have my table set up as like an L here, where on the end of this way where the L is where my laptop or computer is sitting. Right next to me, depending on which one I'm using, and my microphone and all the cords. That's why the cats cannot go over there, because all the cords are strung across the edge of the table, right? Because the camera I have to plug in. The camera and the microphone are not wireless. The camera and the microphone have to hardwire into either my laptop or my new HP, which I've got to get that. I got to figure out how to not stream on it, but how to get the configure the booster onto that. But anyway, what was I going to say? Where was I going? Oh, I said all that to say that my tables are not this one, because this is good for lighting, but my tables are covered in a black craft paper, right? A black craft paper. So what I have next to me on the black craft paper is what I'll do is I'll take my Posca and I'll do that do that, or just clean it off on the black paper right next to me. So I am constantly tapping it out or cleaning it off. Okay, it doesn't really pick this paint up. The Posca is not really picking this paint up as long as you have it dry. You have to make sure the black paint is 100% dry before you go in there with Posca. Okay. What would you use to do the small areas inside of paint? Oh, instead of paint. Well, you can use pencil. You can use pencil in there. Okay, but I'm going to show you something here with the white pencil. Let's say I wanted this to have a glow, or I wanted light coming. I'm not done with this, so I'll just repaint. I'll repaint over it, but I'll do this for a demo for you guys. I'd first finish painting everything. I'd paint the legs, I'd paint the little hut and everything. But let's say I wanted a glow or something coming out. I can do this. Look. See how that, of course, I did a little light curvature that I didn't mean to do there. Or I could do a glow around this. Okay, see how I can put a glow around this? The reason this works, and this could be yellow, it could be orange, it could be start with white and then go in there with orange. Have some extra lighting on top of that. This could have orange glow around it. The only way that's going to work is if there is black paint. Okay. If you wanted this whole thing to have a glow around it, and including like around those little legs, if that's pencil in there, it's not going to work. This will not work on top of pencil. It only works on top of paint. So if you're not going to put a glow, if you're not going to do any of this, then just get in there in the between with black pencil. Just do the black pencil in those tight areas, right? Because you're not going to put anything on top of it. And if you're not going to put anything on top of it, then it doesn't matter if it's paint. The only reason that you want to have it be paint is if you plan on putting pencil on top of it. Okay. All right. Clean my brush. Let's dry that. Hope that helps. Hi, Mrs. Gibbs. Okay, so now let's get on to the, let's spend just a few minutes doing a little bit on him and maybe a couple of the huts. All right, so I'm going to work over here, though, because these have already got the paint around. See, I still haven't painted the black all the way around any of these other white areas. I'll try to work on this a little bit. I'll try to work on this a little bit throughout the day, but I really want to work on Mother's Day. So we'll see. I'll kind of might do a little of both. All right, so now I've got to pick my colors that I want for the huts. Again, if you want to put more paint on here, you can, but I just, me and my pencils are like BFF. So, all right, so I'm going to go in here with probably these two as a start. Maybe a dark gray. That's black. I want dark gray. I have to get into my neutral tray here. My neutrals, dark gray. All right. And then do I need the lightest one? Probably not. I'll just go with white. Okay. So I've got the darkest gray, or dark gray, which is 90% warm gray. I got white. I got aquamarine, and I have light aqua. Those are the colors that I got right now. I can add some more. And then for the hut, I'm going to go with dark brown and a sienna. I'm going to need like a tan color. Maybe we'll go with what is that? Can't see it. Can't see the name of it. I don't know all the names of these. Believe it or not, beige. You'd be surprised how I don't know the names of a lot of my colors, and I've been using them for 50 years. Because I never care about the names. I don't care about the names. I don't care about the numbers. I look at the color. Is that the color I need? That's how I pick. And then maybe that might be enough. Maybe just maybe a yellow ochre. Maybe I need like a little bit of a yellow ochre. Okay, which is yellow ochre. All right, so I'm going to start with these colors. I do have my pencil shavings and pencil thing here. I got all these different sharpeners, and I got random paper clips and erasers in here too. Bookmark. All my different pencil sharpeners. These are the ones I've just been using lately. And so, yeah. I just keep a little tray next to me with that. All right, let's see. Oh, good, Sherry Bug. Dee, you make me want to get out of bed at midnight and go color. Oh, don't do that, Annette. But you know what you could do? And I do this. When you get an idea and you're in bed, keep some Post-it notes next to you and just reach over and write down any notes because you'll forget, especially if you go to sleep. I always keep Post-it notes handy. So if I need to write a note down, I have it handy. I Post-it notes everywhere. I live off my Post-it notes. Hi, Becky. Hi, Maverick. Anyone else having trouble finding Deco Art paints? I don't, Maverick. They're everywhere. Deco Art paints. You need Americana Deco Art. They're at Hobby Lobby. Michael's my Michael's never closed. They did have limit 10 for a while, limit 10 in the store for a while, but they never closed. I think you can get them at Walmart. I'm not sure if you get Deco Art at Walmart. I don't remember, but you can get them at any hobby store, and you can buy them online. You can get them online. So you do write down your ideas. Why do you use baby wipes? I use baby wipes mostly in my collage, but I also use them for, like, if I'm sitting here painting, I can clean off a brush wipe off the excess, and I don't have to constantly be getting in water unless it starts building up or it's a dark color to light color or something. But I can be painting and then wipe it off and just keep painting, so I use the baby wipes for that. The other thing I use the baby wipes for is mist and clouds, because what you can do, and let me just do it. Let me get a clean, you want a clean one here. Well, you know what I should do is let me just get a Kerby out. Let's see here. Let me just find in one of my books where I've done it, so I don't have to actually show you. Oh, here, I came across, here's my werewolf. Here's my werewolf that took, I don't know how many. It was like 5 parts on Ustream. But I love the way the werewolf turned. But I'm looking for something that has the mist on it. Okay, well, this one does it, but I'll use this for an example. I think I started to show a mist here. This is not done. This is another demo where I showed how to do black with white pencil, and this is a wash. But what I do with the baby wipe for clouds and mist is, let me put a little bit of white paint here. I can, but it's easier. It's easier to do it this way. Is I'll take a damp baby wipe and I get it in the paint and I use my hand to mash the paint into the baby wipe. Okay, I'm mashing it in. And then what I'll do is I can make nice soft mists. Look at that. See how I can make that soft mist? Goes right over. It can be a mist. It could be clouds. You could do clouds with it. See how soft that looks? It's very translucent, but you can do little edges. Okay. So that's why I like baby wipes. To get that effect like that, you can do it with paint. As you go along, it's less and less paint. You can get it softer and softer. So that's what I like the baby wipes for. The mist and the clouds. Same thing like you have a waterfall. You have a waterfall coming down. Let's just say this was a waterfall right here. Well, let's say it ended right here. So down here at the base of a waterfall, you can do very nice little misted, very like misty water splat, water mist. Is that it? Is that what I want to say? Water mist? Yeah, is it in this book? The one with the, let's see here. Here's my Kraken here. Well, this right here, some of this is probably baby wipe. I don't really remember. Usually it's the soft going across it that, here we go. Okay, so here, yeah. There we go. So you can go, this is a little thicker. You can make it even more fluffy, but I kind of wanted this straight across. Now, here's the thing about doing this, guys. When you do this kind of thing on top of what you've colored, so you've colored everything, right? You've colored everything. And then you want to put some mist over the top. There's no going back. You got to repaint that. If you mess that up, you got to repaint the background, because you can't wipe it away. It's going to still be, it's going to have a haze to it regardless. And it is a little flashed out, guys. It's a little darker than this. I have the light turned up just a little because we're on a white page like this. I want it to be clear. Okay, so there we go. All right. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of detail in here. Let me sharpen my pencils over here on my little tray. Let me sharpen the colors that I want to use right next to me. All right, so let's do a little bit on the hut and a little bit on a couple of the huts and a little area on the maybe with some of these little legs or something. Use it on your fish, Grace? Yeah. All right, so now I'll do like one of these and maybe a couple of these here, maybe one here that's on the leg, on his body. So I'll start with the darkest here. All right, so now I'm going to start. Oops, use a sharp and I broke it, or it was already broken. Oh, let me give you another hint. And this is a good example because this is one of my older ones. This is one of the older ones. Let's see if it's not going to break. All right. I always tell you when you buy these singly, when you buy them in singles, like replenish, you always want to make sure that they're centered. See how the lead is centered in that? Right in the middle. Now look at this one that I just broke. I don't know if you can look. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see how it's way over to this side? Let me try to put my finger through. Can you see how that's not centered? Maybe if I wipe it off, because it looks like it's got some paint on it. Let me wipe it off. See how it's not in the center? When you buy them in singles, always check the backs of the pencils to make sure that they're centered. Otherwise, when you sharpen them, they'll break real easy, like I just did. Let me check some of these other ones here. Let me look at them all. Okay. They all look pretty good. So you want them to be centered because then when you go to sharpen them, they can break really easy. Now, if you buy them in a pack, if you buy them in a set, then you get what you get. And so now this is you can take as much time as you want to do all these details, right? And this is where I enjoy the process because I've already got it all based down. I've got the wash on. Now I can go in here and fiddle with all the little details and the shading, which I love doing. I love to throw shade. I'll hold it up here and again. When you look at the lead, people look at me like I have to. Well, last time, Yvonne, last time I went to Blick, this was, some months ago. I pointed it out to the clerk. I said, because you could see the whole row, right? You see all of them. And I said, I'm going to show you something here. And I pointed it out to him that how some of the leads were not centered. He said, I never saw that before. I never noticed that before. And so, because then that means that they bought a faulty one. All right, now I'm going to take my light turquoise, okay, and I'm just going to kind of blend in the dark that I just put in. I don't have to cover up. If the color is nice from the wash, I don't have to cover it all up. I'm just kind of feathering it in, right? And then if I want an extra highlight, that's when you take your white Posca, and these come in different tips. This is not the sharpest tip in the toolbox, the smallest tip, but you can have a light touch. So then I'm going to just add a little bit of a slight little highlight on a couple of them, of the arms, just a couple. Now I'm going to hold this up so you can see it here in a minute. And and I've shown you this before, if the white is too white, let me go back over here to these trees, because this is how I did these trees, okay? See those little dots, the little extra bright leaves on the tree there? They started out real bright white, and then once the white dries, once it's dry, you can go over it with the color. So what I did in this case, after the white dried, I went over it with the lime green. So the same thing here. So let me hold it up so you can kind of see it a little better. All right, so see how the Posca is really white, which I like in this case. But if you don't want it that bright white, wait till the Posca dries and then go in with your lightest teal and go over the top of it and knock it back. Knock back the white from just being, and it'll still be there. You'll still see those highlights, but it won't be white. Right? How would you do the skin? We're going to do that next. We're going to do that in just a minute. I'm going to do a section of it, Maverick. I'm going to do a section of the skin on there. So what I like to do, I'm going to do this hut first and maybe a couple huts, and then I'm going to start over here. Which Kirby was it that had the octopus, the purple one? Was it Anna? Hang on, let me look real quick. Imagimorphia. Let me look real quick, guys. Let me flip because I have a section done on it. Let's see. If it's Imagimorphia or Mythomorphia. Hang on, flipping. It must be Mythomorphia. Hang on. Oh, I don't think it's Mythomorphia. It was earlier than that. It's one of my first ones. If it wasn't Imagimorphia. Hang on. Flipping. It had to be Imagimorphia then. What would it have been? Anamorphia, maybe? Let me look at Anamorphia. Hang on, guys. I'm over here to the side flipping through. Ah, here it is. It was in Anamorphia. Okay, so in Anamorphia, I did another demo. Here we go on this squid. So see how, let's see here. All right, here's how it looks with just the wash. And here's how it looks. Here, if you can see that little edge there. Maybe you can kind of compare between these two. Okay, so what you want to try to do, if at all possible, what you want to do is try to use the line art as a tool to use to follow. Okay, so in this case, let's just do some of this. Okay, I'll go right in. Well, I kind of want to go up here. All right, I'm going to start on this leg. So I'm going to go right along under the huts. Under the huts is going to be a nice dark blue. And kind of in between the huts, because they're sitting on top of the leg. So it's going to have, the blue is going to be like the ground, right? There's a little tree there I missed. So in this case, I'm going to just kind of do hard pressure. And by hard pressure, I don't mean I'm bearing down to the point I'm going to snap the lead. But I know I'm not going to put a lot of more color on top of that. I might put a little extra shading, like right in between those huts. I might do a little extra shading with maybe some dark gray or, black. But so since I know I'm not going to do a lot of blending on that dirt, the ground, which is really his leg, then I'll go ahead and just kind of darken in all around there. Let's just do this. And there's some little pebbles on there and some little striations you can get in there and add on top. But I'm going to color this in kind of solid. The top of the tentacle, see where the huts are sitting on top of? Kind of go around some of those little bushes. I hope I'm staying in frame. I'll hold it up here just a minute. Because I know I'm not going to do blending right here, I can go ahead and kind of get it solid, like a little more hard pressure, get it wax buildup will happen if you hard pressure like this. If you want to blend two colors together, don't hard pressure because you won't be able to blend them. Yeah, it is, Cynthia. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And thanks for all the thumbs up, guys. I appreciate it. And don't forget, as long as, we have a stable connection, if we have another stable connection tomorrow, then I'll try to, because it's already going to be I think tomorrow will be the first Wednesday of the month. Every Wednesday of the month, I try to do book giveaways. As long as we have a stable connection tomorrow, I'm going to do some book giveaways. So if you want to stop by, because Monday and Wednesday are my regular stream days. Monday and Wednesday, 9 a.m. I usually come on at 8:30 or so to do some chit-chatting and saying good morning to everybody. I chit-chat the whole time. If you don't like a chatty show, this is not for you. So anyway, Mondays and Wednesdays are my regular stream days, but I came on today to test my new Wi-Fi booster. Be working on the laptop. I don't think I have it configured correctly on the HP yet, so I'll have to work on that. But if we're having a good stable day today, I'll just stream again on the laptop tomorrow, just to make sure. I'll stream on it tomorrow. So if we do a giveaway, it'll be stable. Don't forget, guys, to check live chat at the top. When you're in a live show, not just my stream, but in anybody's stream, there's a live chat and a top chat right above the chat window. If you don't have live chat selected, you will not see all the chat. And also, if it ever goes fuzzy, if there's ever a glitch or a flip or a blip, make sure that sorry, I had Ustream on my mind from the previous comments. But anyway, check your little wheel, the little setting wheel under your video, because if YouTube blips, it can knock you back from 780 or 1080p. I'm streaming in HD, but it can knock you back to like 144 and get you real fuzzy real fast. So if it looked like all of a sudden it went fuzzy, and I'm not talking about buffering issue, I'm talking about if it just went fuzzy, make sure your settings are still high at 720 or 1080p. Okay? Thank you, Annette. I appreciate that. Okay, so I've got just like one of the legs here kind of based in, right? Now, let's go ahead and let me sharpen. Let's see, which way do I want to do this? All right. Hi, Nighthawk. How you doing? All right, let's go over to the head here because it's got, you'll be able to see it better than just a little tiny leg, right? So you've got all these little these little, I don't know if you call them scales, because octopus usually don't have scales. You don't have to do every one. All right, so let's go back to the dinosaur here. On this, or the dragon. On the dragon here, I did every single scale. Every single scale I went around, okay? So I went around every single one, shaded around each one. Then I went in with the Posca and went over, not all of them, but the bulk of them. You can see the brightness of the Posca. If you can see the brightness of the Posca on there, I went over it with the lime green after it dried, but it's still brighter. Okay. Well, I don't really want the octopus to look like it has scales necessarily, but it does have textured skin. So what you can do, if you don't want it to look like completely like scales, like here, let's go over here to the dinosaur. See, I got it really scaly. I got him really scaly. Then don't do every one. So you can do a couple different things. You can just go and do a few here and there. You can do a few here and there. Don't do all of them, okay? Do a few together, though. Don't these bubbles. You want to have a few of them like almost connected, like a little section, like maybe over here on this side of him, he's got a little bit darker. So you can have a few more over here. But I'm just not doing every one, okay? And you got to keep your pencil sharp for this. Okay, so you can do like this, and then where it's maybe lighter because he's round, even though you're in the ditch of the book, you might just have a few that are in here. And again, it's a little tricky in the ditch here. And then maybe as you get over here to the side, you've got more, you can see more shadows and darker areas. Now you can do the whole thing. You can do all the scales like we did on the dragon if you want, but I just don't imagine octopus to be that scaly. You know, they're more smooth, right? So, but you can pull out a few of these if you want. And you can do this on top after you do some shading. All right, so now let's say I want to do some shading. Hi, Melinda. All right, so now I'm going to just start picking out some areas. Now, very light. I'm not putting any pressure now. Now I want to kind of shade. I'm going to kind of leave a little bit of a kind of an edge around him so it's not like right to the edge. And you can go back after you've done this part, after you've done some shading, then you can still go back in there and pick out even, go in there with a little darker gray if you want, or whatever color you're using, the next darker, and pick those out even a little more. Okay, now look right here where they have Kerby's already shaded for you. See where all that shading is? See all the shading? He's already shaded for you. So you can kind of just go in there and go on top. Go on top of where he's already shaded. Especially if it's like under another leg right here. That leg is wrapping over this. So this is going to be shadowed right under there. See? Would start it out. Might even get a little darker. Might have some darker areas in here too. So this is probably how I would do it. But again, I would have already done all the black. I would have done I did all the wash of blue, all the wash of the huts. Then I would have done all the black, then the bubbles, in all these areas here. Okay. And now then I would have probably gone in here and started with wherever there was already shading. Wherever Kerby's already shaded, use the artist, what they've already given you. Use that to your advantage, right? See how I'm just going over? Can you see where they're shading there? Kerby's already shaded it for you, so you don't have to figure out, well, where do I shade? He's already thrown the shade. He's already thrown shade. And again, it is a little tricky in the ditch. When you have a double page spread like this, you got to kind of work in the ditch there of the book. But okay. No, I don't really put a thicker or thinner wash. If you want to do shading with the paint, you can do that with some more. I just don't find it necessary. The reason that I want the wash on there in the first place is so I can do the pencil techniques. If you want to use the wash, like right here, it got a little thicker, right? It just doesn't matter because I'm going to pencil over practically everything. But you could do more of a wash right in there if you want to just shade with the paint. The problem is you got to still be thin enough because you don't want to cover up all the line art. And if you get too thick with the paint, you're going to lose the line art that I don't think you'd want to lose. There's a little compass right there. I think that must be one of the hidden items. So it just depends on, do you care if you're covering up the line art, In some places I do cover up the line art because like on edges sometimes, especially like around faces, I'll cover up the line art on edges that I want brighter or something. But, all right, so right in here, this is under those houses again, or under the huts. So that's going to be really dark. Just remember, if you put hard pressure and you build up the wax, you can put more on top of it. Like I could put some black on top of this or a darker gray or something like that, but I'm not going to be able to blend. Once you've hard pressured in the color, the blendability of the pencils is really just gone. Okay. Now, this is Kerby's new book, World Within Worlds. Grace. Okay. So, like, let me sharpen. You got to keep sharpening on these little areas. So, like this little guy here, I'm going to do a little shading right under the hut, but I don't want the legs all solid. I want them to have a little bit of depth to them. Okay, so I'm not doing them in not doing that solid. Okay. All right, so let's go back to hope I'm staying in frame because I have to keep moving the book because I'm so zoomed in. You'll see when we back out how how the details really, you know, like we're real zoomed in right now, and you might see, oh, that doesn't look perfect, or that doesn't look neat. We're so zoomed in. You'll see when we back out, you're gonna go, oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm just again, I'm looking for all the areas that Kerby has already drawn extra line art to show you where the shading is. Now, you can still add more shading too. You don't have to just add, like right here, he didn't have any shading right there. Okay, I put that in. But at least start with, especially if you don't know where to shade, at least start with where the artist has already given you some shade. Like, see all those, can you see that, those extra lines there on top? See how it's already, he's got extra line art there. Let me see if I can find, all right, here's a better place. See how there's extra lines there on top of the little scales? That's where you know to shade already. There, you can see it there. See? And then you can just kind of feather it out. Softly, feather it out. So it's not, you don't have to stay just on the shading. You can soften it out as you go, right? Get it nice and soft. Or move into another color, which we're going to do next. So I'm just kind of picking out some areas to show you. Again, under the huts, I am just getting that nice and solid right underneath the huts, wherever they are. Where the little arm is here. Okay. Here's another little area that can be really dark. And again, all these white areas are going to be black. Okay, they're going to look like this. All right, so I'm just going to keep, and you can soften it in, so it's just not a hard edge. Okay, right in here. But one of the things that you really, if I had one, other than doing the wash of acrylic paint to do pencil on top of, my next biggest coloring tip that I would recommend is contrast. High contrast. You want really dark darks and really light lights if you want your page to pop. And I'll show, and here's an example. Well, you can see right here. A lot of people will color a page to this stage. Look. Now they'd be neater, but they would just get, it almost just looks like a wash. There's no contrast. It's just lightly colored. They're afraid, I guess, of the darks. Don't be afraid to get in there and make things darker, because that's what's going to make your page really stand out, is when you have high contrast. And you can take your time and build up your layers. And you can go in there like with the light blue, see that's one shade lighter. And you can get in there and even blend this out even softer. Take your time. Or you can even get in here. I'm going to take the dark gray. And you can even get in here and go a little darker. I could do some of these, some of the little scales a little even darker, but especially in the shading. Okay, and if it looks real harsh and too dark like this, then as long as you don't put too much hard pressure, then go back with your blue and you can knock back the darkness of it or the grayness of it with more blue, and you just can keep layering. As long as you don't get it the wax buildup, you can keep layering. Now here again, where I put or blending, where I did under these huts right here, if I want some darker way back maybe, or right under the huts right here, I can get in there and I can put another layer on top, but it's not going to blend. It's not going to do blendy like it does when you do soft, right? But that would be my best recommendation for, because, and I can't tell you how many people over the years have messaged me and said, look at my picture. What's wrong with it? I use the same colors you did. I followed your tutorial demo. I followed your demo and used all the same colors and did everything you did. Why does it look like it does? It doesn't look like yours. It's because it's not enough contrast. You weren't brave enough to go that dark. It does make a big difference, right, Melinda? Melinda says, I've been using high contrast more this week. Big difference, right? Not only, let's just work on this section right here just so I can show you. All right, so now I can get in here and maybe just even a little bit darker right along that edge or right up in the tight places. Now this is dark gray, 90% warm gray. Nice little shadow right under that arm. Okay. Maybe I'll pick out a few of those little, I hate to call them scales on an octopus, the little texture bits. Pick out a few there. Okay. And just soften the gray or go in with the dark teal and go on top of that. I'm going to stay about 5 more minutes. I'm going to do a couple of huts, guys, and I want to read from the book. Or I can wait till Wednesday. Now, there's a lot of people here. We'll go ahead and read from the book, the book. Okay, so now I want to show you a couple more things here. Okay. Try not to have a harsh line unless it's an obvious shadow. Like some things will have a harsh shadow, like let's say, like if this was a hair, like that was a hair, it may have one nice shadow going right there, a line, a very distinct line. But you got to be careful with that, otherwise it just looks like you're just trying to draw another hair or whatever, or another arm, rather than trying to make a shadow. So you have to be kind of careful with that. All right, so now I'm going to take my light teal and just kind of blend that in. Just making it softer. But see how I'm keeping that area light, keeping a light area there. And then if I want some highlights, I'll do a couple things here. Take my Posca. Now remember, this, just like this, will be the whole, all of it. But look what we've gone from. We've gone from this light wash here to no shading to this much shading. And I would take a little more time. And then I might have a few highlights here in some of those scales, for lack of a better word. There might be a few that are really just shining. On the dragon, I did almost every single one because I wanted every scale to pop. But on this, I don't really want it to look too scaly. But we'll have a little bit of texture. It's going to look more like the Kraken that I did in the other book. Okay, so now, look how that's white. See how we got a few little white highlights there? Now, you got to let that dry. I'm going to hit it with a heat gun, but you got to let that dry before you go over it with pencil. Otherwise, if you go over it with pencil when it's wet, you're just going to you're going to wipe it right off with the pencil, right? So now that it's dry, I can take wherever it's white, and I don't want it to be bright white, but I want it to be highlighted. Now I'll take my lightest teal color, and I'm going to go right over on top of all that Posca. I'm going to go right on top of the Posca, and what it does is it's still going to be bright, but it's not going to be white. Okay. So you probably won't be able to tell on camera, but now that those little dots that I put on there are now light teal. They're light teal. They're not white anymore. But see how they're still bright? Yeah, yes, pebble touch. Yeah, big mama. Yeah. So, and again, you can continue to, if you think that's too, it's still too harsh right there, then kind of just keep feathering it out, feather it out real light, because I haven't put hard pressure on this area, I can keep layering it. You can get a lot of layers. I don't know. You could probably get 15 or 20 layers if you're real gentle. If you're real soft like this, that's when I do portraits. I can get a lot of layers in because I haven't put hard pressure. Again, I deliberately put hard pressure along right up under here, right? And up under the houses because that's just how it's going to look. I'm not going to have a lot of shading detail. I just want dark teal and dark shadows under the huts. All right, so on this hut, let's do this one right here. And even on that hut, right under the hut there, I can put even a little bit more of a shadow right under the little hut there. But you want to take the time to blend it out. Don't leave harsh lines. Very rarely are your shadows just going to be a harsh line. They're going to be soft. See how that just gave it even just that little bit more dimension right there. All right, so now let's go to the hut. I'm going to take I'll start with the dark brown, and let's do this one here. And I'm going to get right up under. Now remember, this is going to be, let me go back to my little reference of an acorn, because these are all acorns. So what I did is I pulled a reference for an acorn. Right here. Okay. So we already put the wash. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but we already put a wash with the beige color and then the terracotta color, sienna color on there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to hold it here. I want to shade right up under the acorn top. Okay, it's going to be shadow under there. The little stem is darker too, so I'll do all the little tops like that. And then in the top of the acorn there, it's almost like a yellow ochre, and with the little divots or bumps or whatever you want to call it. So I'll go in there with a nice sharp pencil and do the little acorn bumps on the top. I'm holding it up in the air, so I'm not able to get as much pressure as if it's sitting on the ground on the desk, like that. And then underneath here, I'm going to use a sienna to do, maybe, let me sharpen, do the little striations, of the acorn, and just leave the color of the wash as your base, and just put I put a few little striations there. Let me do another one. Here, let's do a bigger one here. So the little striations that are in a acorn. Let me show you the acorn again. See, I'm talking about these little lines. And then there's the door, windows and all. But see how this is pebbly? That's pebbly. And see how this is darker? So you can use a reference to know where to color, where to shade, where to highlight. All right, so all we got done really was this little area here. We got a little further here. I started shading around his little face here. I don't know if I want his eyes to be green or maybe orange or something like that would be stand out. Have some nice bright orange. Where's my orange? Maybe he'll have, or she will have some nice bright orange eyes. And then I'll pop in a little highlight. That. The underneath the eye right here will probably have a nice highlight as well after it's all said and done. Like that. Have a nice shadow over the top. Again, you really want your pencils nice and sharp. So you can do that. If you want to add even a little bit more highlight, No. Okay, so let me see if y'all have any questions or anything. I'm going to back out. I'm going to back the camera out. Beep, 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 beep. So you can kind of see where we're heading. So now, see how the contrast really stands out. Do you pick a point of light for your shadow? It depends on, like, if something's rolling, like this is rolling and moving, you know. Like I said, Kerby's already put shadows. Look, can you see where the shadows are? So if the shadows are there, then the light areas, it doesn't necessarily have to be on the edge. You can put an edge highlight, but it doesn't have to be on the edge. Like this area right here might be the lightest because he's bulbous, right? So there's going to be highlights on. All right, here, let me show on the acorn. Look on this acorn. Look how it's not on the edge. See how it's like, because the acorn is rounded. Look, there's a little shadow a little highlight right there, and then the brightest highlight there. But look, it's not right on the edge. You would think if the sun was shining, but there's a cast shadow. That's called a cast shadow there. If the sun is hitting it, even if it's directly right there, see, look, there's still a shadow back there. So your highlight could be right here. And look over here. Look, see how it's lit over? Now, this might have to do with the way the photographer lit it, too. The photographer probably had light coming from here and probably light coming from here. So, depends on how the photographer lit it. There could be 3 lights on here. You know what I mean? Depending on the photographer. So you could have, this could have a glow, because I'm going to kind of want him to have a glow, or her to kind of have a glow about her. But I'm going to have highlights amongst the areas as well. You kind of just do, the more you do it, and it depends on how realistic you kind of want it. I'm not that picky on that kind of thing on my color book pages, because I do so many portraits, people and pet portraits. I do so many. When I go to do a color book page, I'm just not as picky about that, because I just want to have fun with it. So I'm kind of just looking at, like, oh, I want a little bit lighter here. Maybe it's a little lighter here. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Is making sure the shadows are exact. And in this case too, guys, we're in the ditch. So, if this was on a flat surface, I'd have a nice highlight right there kind of in the middle. But because of this, it almost looks like he's a brain, All right, so I'm going to stop now on this, and I'm going to read our pages in 1001 Ways to Be Creative before we go. And again, guys, thanks for hanging out for a couple hours. So far, I think we only had one buffering at the very beginning. So I'm hoping that my booster I bought yesterday, they had different ones. I don't have the box they had different ones, and that supposedly the range is stronger in different ones. That a $49 one that was like, I don't know, 900 feet. They had the $79 one that was 1,200 feet. They had so that a 49, a 79, an 89, and a 99. I bought the 99. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Phibbs. You just helped pay for my Wi-Fi booster. Mrs. Phibbs, make sure let me write you down. Email me. Here's my email. Email me your address if you would like me to send you a thank you. I am going to do a new print for the channel subscribe. Channel. What am I trying to say? The channel helpers. I'm writing you down, Mrs. Phibbs. And supporters. That's what I'm trying to think of. Okay, I just got a connection unstable. Just now. I just got a connection unstable. So it might have blipped on you guys. It might have blipped. All right, let me do a test here. Test. Am I still here? Okay. So this coming month, I want to make a new print for the channel helpers. Oh my gosh. And thanks, Pamela. Thank you, Janet. The people who support my channel. Yeah. I send out a print. So I'm going to, now that some things are opening up, I can get over to I think our office depot has been open. It may have weird hours. Okay. Thanks, Devin. So I want to make a new print for the channel supporter. Why that was hard to get out for this month. So anybody that has supported the channel either through PayPal or Super Chat in the last month, which goes through April, I got it. I'm going to have a new print for you guys. Okay. Let me just take 2 minutes to read the next. I keep it bookmarked to the next double page of where we read some 1001 Ways to Be Creative, a little book of everyday inspiration, Barbara Ann Kipfer. And I think I got this at Tuesday morning some months ago because we've been reading a page a week. All right, so here we go. Number 117, write a letter to the editor of your local paper. 118, write an animal fable. 119, watch a bud open. 120, paint faces at a child's birthday party. 121, create an atmosphere that welcomes your creativity and kindles your joy. So these are just little inspirational quotes, and you can change them up. You can change them up to be work for you. But if you write them down, if you mind map something like one of these things, mind map it out and see what ways that you can develop a new idea off of one of these ideas. You'd be surprised if you mind map something, you'll get hundreds of things, you know, um, to inspire you. So anyway, there's our little page for the week, and hope this was inspirational and helpful to you or new to coloring, or even if you've never tried to do a wash or use acrylic paint. All right, guys. Well, thanks for all the couple hundred, we had almost 300 people here earlier. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for up. And we will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. Y'all take care. Stay healthy. Stay free. Bye.